The following contest is an extreme rules match and is for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Grand Tour Wrestling, the Grand Rumble. I'm your host, Infinite Fantasy, and welcome everyone to Greece. We're here with our opening match for tonight's pay-per-view event, and the World Heavyweight title is on the line for Stone Cold Steve Austin's retirement match. Stone Cold making his way to the ring to face off against the one and only Jon Moxley for the World Heavyweight title, and it will be a death match. There'll be no disqualification, no countouts. There'll be a pure bloodbath, weapons galore, as the two toughest in the business go at it right here in the middle of Greece. And here comes the opponent, the World Heavyweight title, Jon Moxley, a man who wishes to use the World Heavyweight title to elevate the talent here in GTW, to make the next generation of wrestlers stronger. But that won't happen if Stone Cold wins tonight. Not only is the title on the line, but it's also Stone Cold Steve Austin's retirement match, which will explain his extremely good mood getting into the ring. If Stone Cold wins the belt tonight, he will be retiring with the World Heavyweight title. It is now up to Jon Moxley to be the old guard for the championship belt here tonight.
Introducing the challenger from Victoria, Texas, weighing in at 252 pounds, Stone Cold Steve Austin! And his opponent from Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing in at 225 pounds, the World Heavyweight Champion, Jon Moxley.
And here we go. The bell has been rung, and the ending, the culmination of this rivalry between Jon Moxley and Stone Cold Steve Austin has begun. The World Heavyweight title line, and here comes Stone Cold Steve Austin with a clothesline on the World Heavyweight Champion. And again, this is a death match. There'll be no disqualification, no countouts in this. This match can only end by pinfall or submission. And Stone Cold now wrenching the neck of Jon Moxley. Moxley getting out of the hold. And here comes a body slam. Stone Cold reverses, and he goes for the back of the leg of Jon Moxley. Here comes Stone Cold going on the ring, looking for a foreign object, and right off the bat, Stone Cold taking advantage of his death ring, bringing a sledgehammer, and Jon Moxley intercepts, knocking the sledgehammer out of his hand and taking him down with a clothesline. And now we got Moxley working on the hand of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Again, this is Stone Cold's retirement match. If he wins tonight, he'll be retiring with the World Heavyweight Championship, and Moxley not about to let that happen. Moxley sending a clear message to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Here comes Moxley, throwing Stone Cold against the ropes, and here comes a clothesline by Moxley. Moxley now going for Boston Crab. Austin out of the ring. Now Moxley now working on the hand of Steve Austin. They grapple up. Moxley going for the fireman's carry. And Austin's throw across the top rope. One. And a kick out by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Moxley coming off those ropes, and from across the ring, a crossbody splash into a bulldog on the Texas Rattlesnake. Moxley getting a little frustrated. He knows not only the World Heavyweight title is on the line, but the existence of the World Heavyweight title in GTW. He needs to get a 3 count or submission on Austin to keep the title within the GTW promotion. Here's Austin rolling Jon Moxley into a pin. 1, 2, and a kick out by the World Heavyweight Champion. Austin now going for an Irish whip. Moxley over the top rope. Moxley now fighting back. Moxley weaving, ducking on Austin. Austin with a right hook. And there's a headlock followed by a huge right hand by Steve Austin. Now goes for the Irish whip. Moxley coming off the ropes. And also taking him down. And look at that. The Texas Rattlesnake opened up a can of whoop-ass on the World Heavyweight Champion, Jon Moxley. And Austin attacking Moxley with that sledgehammer. He comes running in. And elbowing Moxley. And you can see that Moxley's been busted open here. Moxley coming off the ropes twice, using that momentum to take down the Texas Rattlesnake. Moxley busted open in this death match. He's now getting to the top rope. And here comes Moxley with an atomic elbow drop on Stone Cold Steve Austin. Moxley now taking advantage of the no disqualification stipulation with that sledgehammer. No, he just put down the sledgehammer. Looks like he has other plans for Austin. That might just cost him. Austin with a possum pin on Jon Moxley. And a kick out by Moxley, barely breaking the 3 count. Here comes Austin with a clothesline. And now Austin with the sledgehammer here. He's not going to be as forgiving as Moxley as he drives the sledgehammer into the ribs of the World Heavyweight Champion. Moxley attempting a stunner. Moxley catches him in his tracks. And a fisherman suplex by Jon Moxley, countering the Stone Cold Stunner. 1. And a kick out by Steve Austin. Moxley now dragging Austin to the middle of the ring. Who knows what this man has in store for the challenger in this no disqualification championship match. Austin wanted to retire with a worthy opponent. A man that can take him to the brink. A man that can match him in terms of toughness, a man who can give a real fight, and Moxley is giving it to him right now. He has Stone Cold in the submission hold. He's pulling his head back. He's nearly tearing the head right off his shoulders. Then Stone Cold with an elbow, fighting his way out. And Moxley coming in with a pile driver. Moxley gets the pile driver onto Steve Austin. These two are using every single dangerous tactic in the book, every forbidden move, every hard knock. And Moxley now getting the sleeper. He has the sleeper on the Texas Rattlesnake. Stone Cold in the middle of the ring. Even if he were close to the ropes, there are no rope break will save him in this match. Stone Cold desperately fought his way out of it. Now throwing Moxley into the corner. Sledgehammer in hit. No, Austin has other plans here. And it's Austin throwing him across the ring. He's going for the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out from Moxley. Austin now going under the ring. Bringing out a Singapore cane. We got a new foreign object in motion here in this death match. Moxley intercepts him. Stone Cold now going for the Irish whip. And a knee right to the gut. You can hear the excitement here in this stadium. Thousands in attendance here in Greece, watching Stone Cold Steve Austin in his final match against Jon Moxley for the World Heavyweight title. Stone Cold with a reverse suplex onto Jon Moxley. They grapple up. Austin throwing Moxley into the ropes. And just look at Austin going to town on the World Heavyweight Champion, the challenger, bringing Moxley to the brink. And there he is. He just drove the sledgehammer right into the groin of Moxley. 1, 2, 3, and Stone Cold wins the World Heavyweight Championship from Jon Moxley.
Here is your winner, in the new World Heavyweight Champion, Stone Cold Steve Austin!
And now it looks as if Stone Cold Steve Austin will now retire with the World Heavyweight Champion. Of course, this brings up some questions later on tonight. As we all know, Hercules will be in a tag team match along with Amber Charlotte against the Red Faction. And the stipulation is if he won, he would get a World Heavyweight title match. What does this mean if Hercules wins later tonight? Also, we have Asuka taking on Jennifer Love. Later on tonight, the winner will be the #1 contender for the Women's Championship. Speaking of the Women's Championship, that will be on the line coming up next as Amanda Price will be challenging Rachel Rodriguez for that very same title. And then our headliner match. Dio Sebation will be defending the Grand Tour Championship against Steven Dynamite in an ambulance match. The winner, in order to win this match, you must incapacitate your opponent to the point where they can no longer get out of the ambulance and are locked inside, promptly sent to the hospital. And of course, tonight is the Grand Rumble, which means our main event will be a 30-participant Rumble match. Over the top, you eliminate your opponent by throwing them over the top rope. Both feet must touch the ground for an elimination to take place. Every 2 minutes, a new wrestler will enter the ring until all 30 participants have entered the Grand Rumble here tonight. The last one left in the ring will become the #1 contender for the Grand Tour title and main event our biggest show, WrestleNova. That will be our main event here tonight. But coming up next, here in the Grand Rumble, we have the Women's World Championship on the line. Amanda Price will now be challenging our women's champion, Rachel Rodriguez, right here, right now on our pay-per-view event, the Grand Rumble.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the Women's Championship.
And here comes the challenger for tonight's Women's Championship match. The ever so beautiful Amanda Price. But don't let her looks fool you. She is extremely dangerous, trained by an Olympic gold medalist in the ways of technical wrestling. She is definitely a contender in the ring. Through the pleas of her rival Brenda Bison, Rachel Rodriguez has graciously accepted a challenge, allowing Amanda Price to take her on for the championship here tonight. Rachel Rodriguez fulfilling Brenda Bison's promise, where she could not honor the agreement that her and Amanda Price would settle their differences for the title. It will now be Price going up against Rodriguez. And here she is, folks, the reigning Women's World Champion, Rachel Rodriguez. And you want to talk about someone who's impressive. This is a woman who in one night went from undercard to main event Women's Champion in a single night, and has since dominated every opponent she's gotten in the ring with. She has defeated Asuka. She has defeated Brenda Bison. There is no one that has yet to stand up to Rachel Rodriguez, who has quickly become a fan favorite. And I'm going to tell you, this is going to be a match for the ages. Rodriguez versus Amanda Price. This is a dream come true match right here. Both top tier competitors. Both big fan favorites here in GTW. And you can hear the excitement here in Greece as Rodriguez enters the ring.
Introducing the challenger from Allentown, Pennsylvania, Amanda Price. And her opponent from Los Angeles, California, the Women's Champion, Rachel Rodriguez.
We just had our World Heavyweight title change hands between Moxley and Stone Cold Steve Austin in our opening match. Will we have the same here tonight? Could Amanda Price become a two-time World Women's Champion? Or will the reign grow even stronger in the hands of Rachel Rodriguez? We're going to find out right here in our championship match. And Rodriguez starting things off on the offensive. Amanda Price going for a counter. And Amanda Price immediately going for a hold on Rodriguez. Rodriguez now with a counter of her own. And now the two women locking up in the middle of the ring. Rodriguez going for an armbar on Amanda Price. And she's got it in tight. Amanda Price struggling to get out of it. And Rodriguez tightens the hold on the challenger. And you gotta wonder if Amanda Price's mind is completely focused in this match as Rodriguez again tightens the hold even further. Amanda Price just breaking up with her ex Dio Sebation. A lot of drama going on in her inner circle, and I can hope that Amanda Price can put that all to the table, on the side table here tonight, and focus on this match. And thus far, the women's champion has gained the advantage in this title match. Rodriguez off the ropes, and Amanda Price sidesteps out of the way. She sees it coming. Rodriguez immediately rebuttals with a shot to the ribs, and they grapple up once more in the middle of the ring. And now Amanda Price is the one putting Rodriguez in the armbar. And she's got it locked in tight. And look at that technique, nearly ripping the arm out of Rodriguez's shoulder right there. It was on Brawl where these two women stepped into the ring with each other, showing a lot of admiration towards each other. And you can see there's a lot of respect between these two competitors, between Rodriguez and Amanda Price. Now throwing Rodriguez over the top rope. And here comes Amanda Price. And she slams the women's champion onto the ring apron. As I said, these two women have a lot of respect towards each other. This is nothing personal between the two. This right here is pure competition. This is about two high-class athletes looking to see which one of them is the best. There's Price throwing those elbows onto Rodriguez. He goes for the Irish whip. Rodriguez off the ropes. Amanda Price goes under. And a bear hug. A belly-to-belly suplex by the challenger, Amanda Price. She goes for her right hand. Rodriguez with an elbow. As a shot to the ribs by Amanda Price. Rodriguez, fireman's carry. And there's a knee to the chin of Amanda Price. Now trample off. Price slamming Rodriguez into the turnbuckle. And another belly to belly. Amanda Price throwing Rodriguez across the ring, and here comes the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out from Rachel Rodriguez. Price with a takedown, 2 takedowns. And a scoop slam from the challenger, Amanda Price. She is completely fired up as she makes her way to the second turnbuckle. She's measuring up the women's champion as she comes forward with a flying neckbreaker. Now Price getting Rodriguez away from the ropes. And Rodriguez knew that the submission was coming. She kicks the challenger off. And here comes Rodriguez with an armbar on Amanda Price. And look at that technique as Price immediately counters the women's champion. Reversing into a hurricanrana. Amazing technique by Amanda Price. I said earlier that she was trained by an Olympic gold athlete, and it's showing right here in this match. And here goes Amanda Price, belly to belly off the top rope. You can hear the crowd screaming, the fans here in Greece, off their seats right now in this championship match. Rodriguez for double axe handle. Price moves out of the way. There's Rodriguez throwing those elbows. He goes for the Irish whip. And here comes a clothesline. And Amanda Price takes her down. And you can see Amanda Price going for that knee. She's going for the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out. Rodriguez barely gets the shoulder up. Amanda Price, I don't think she can believe it. One thing's for sure, it's definitely clear. Amanda Price has her head in the game. She's not letting anything distract her despite recent events. He goes for a knee. Rodriguez jumps out of the way. Amanda Price with the rebuttal. Here goes a right hand. She attempts a German suplex. Rodriguez with the elbow strike. And there's Rachel Rodriguez with a neckbreaker onto the challenger, Amanda Price. She's getting her to the center of the ring. Doesn't want the chance of rope break. However, that may have given Amanda Price too much time to recover. And here she comes springing off the top turnbuckle with a flying moonsault onto the women's champion. You can see that both of these competitors are playing it smart in this match. And here comes Amanda Price. Applying the ankle lock. She's got the ankle lock in. Rachel Rodriguez is too far from the ropes. She's going to have to slip her way out, and she does. And here's Amanda Price going for the ankle slam. Her finisher move. 1, 2, and a kick out. Price cannot believe it. How did Rachel Rodriguez kick out of her finisher move, the ankle slam? Let's see Irish Whip. Rodriguez now in the corner. Amanda Price with the elbow. A little showboating by Amanda Price. She's going for the win. 1, 2, and another kick out by Rodriguez. Amanda Price getting a little too confident in this match. Here comes Rodriguez throwing Price off the ropes. She goes under. She goes over. Full momentum. And a takedown slam. Rodriguez now applying a headlock onto Amanda Price. She's got a submission hold in the middle of the ring. And here's Price throwing those knees and elbows. And she breaks the hold. And immediately, Amanda Price counters with a crossface onto Rachel Rodriguez. Will she tap out? She's got her in the middle of the ring. And now Rodriguez slips the arm out. Rodriguez in a full daze. She doesn't know where she is. Amanda Price on the top rope. Flying shoulder tackle. And you see Price, she's working smart right now as she's working on those limbs. She's weakening the legs, making the women's champion more vulnerable to a submission hold if need be. And here comes Price coming off the ropes, clothesline, taking down the women's champion, the challenger, now in full control of this match, and she comes in with a gator roll. It looks like she's got Rachel Rodriguez right where she wants her, gator rolling her into position. He has her right in the corner. The challenger, Amanda Price, in full control in this women's title match. And a German suplex, full force into the ring. Here comes the pin. This could be it for the title. 1, 2, and another kick out from Rodriguez. I don't believe it. And you can look at Price. You can see her just contemplating right now. What is it going to take to beat the women's champion here tonight? Rodriguez with a counter. And now these two women dropping their technical prowess. And now it's coming down to this. The two going back and forth. Open hand chops. Strike after strike. Rodriguez now playing her own field against Amanda Price. Price barely on her feet here. Both women struggling to stand. And now here's Price with an open hand. And a drop kick for Amanda Price. Knocking down the women's champion. It looks like Price is positioning her way for the win. She's getting Rodriguez away from the ropes. She's getting her in the middle of the ring. And here it comes. Amanda Price now applying the ankle lock. She has the ankle lock. No, she just transformed the ankle lock into a stronger hold. Look at that leverage. And somehow Rodriguez still managing to slip the leg out of the hold. Amanda Price not giving up as she attempts an arm lock. Amanda Price with a counter. Amanda Price now coming in full force. And Rodriguez reversing into a neck breaker onto Amanda Price. She's going for the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out from Amanda Price. What a match this is turning out to be. The competition between these two women. The display of athleticism between these two competitors is incredible. And there's a lariat elbow by Rachel Rodriguez. And here comes Amanda Price reversing into a crossface. She has Rodriguez in the crossface. Will she tap out here? Can Rodriguez get out of the hold? As she does. You can see that these two women are completely evenly matched in this championship bout. Amanda Price throwing everything she has. Rodriguez managing to get out of everything, managing to save herself from everything. And there's a knee to the face to Amanda Price. They grapple up. Rodriguez with a headlock on Price. And now she sweeps the leg. You see the frustration of Amanda Price there. And that moment of frustration may have just cost her as Rodriguez comes in with a flying missile dropkick. Amanda Price is completely out of it now. There's a knee right to the face of Amanda Price. Rodriguez coming off the rope. Reverse cutter. Amanda Price has been busted open. She's bleeding. Amanda Price has kicked out, but the damage done. You can see blood pouring from the forehead of Amanda Price here. That drop kick has done more damage than Rodriguez could have hoped for. And we can see she's still losing a lot of blood. I don't know how much more Amanda Price can hold on. How much longer she can withstand this singles match, this championship match against Rachel Rodriguez. And Price struggling in the corner. And a baseball slide from the women's champion. Rodriguez going for the pin. Will she retain? 1, 2, and a kick out from Amanda Price. And Rodriguez can't believe it. Rodriguez with a desperate move. Going for the pin once more. And another kick out. Amanda Price barely getting the shoulder up. These two women are giving it everything they have. You can just see how frustrated Rachel Rodriguez is getting. This is becoming more than just a competition these two. This is starting to become very brutal. Here's Amanda Price with not one, not two, but three German suplexes. There's a suplex city from the challenger Amanda Price. And now she once again gets the ankle lock on Rachel Rodriguez. And she taps out. Rachel Rodriguez taps out. We have a new women's champion.
Here is your winner, in the new Women's Champion, Amanda Price.
What a match. What a bout from Amanda Price winning the Women's Championship. It was Rachel Rodriguez that said that she hopes that Amanda Price can bring her an even greater match than Brenda Bison did, and she has. She brought the noise. Bleeding all over, she still managed to pull in a desperate counter. She still managed to get that suplex city in, and then transform that into the ankle lock. Rachel Rodriguez nowhere to go, completely out of gas, had no choice but to tap out, and we now have our two-time Women's World Champion, Amanda Price. Speaking of the Women's Championship, we now have a singles bout. as Asuka will be going one-on-one with Jennifer Love. The winner will become the #1 contender for the Women's Championship. The winner will be Amanda Price's next opponent. Who will be the #1 contender? Will it be Asuka or Jennifer Love? Find out right here on our live pay-per-view, Grand Rumble.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring, representing the Kabuki Warriors from Osaka, Japan, Asuka!
And here comes Asuka, making her way to the ring. Asuka has been tormenting Jennifer Love and Rachel Rodriguez for months now. She's been going after Rodriguez week after week, trying to get her championship match, trying to get her rematch. After losing a tag team match against Rodriguez and Jennifer Love last night on Dystopia, Asuka went to Charles Elliott demanding a women's title match. Charles Elliott met her at the halfway point, saying that she can defeat Jennifer Love here tonight, the woman that she has been constantly interfering with. She'll become #1 contender. And I see we have Mortalist here in the live chat. How you doing, Mortalist?
And her opponent.
See, we also have an Asuka fan here.
Ohio, Jennifer Love.
And here comes the opponent, Jennifer Love. It was 2 weeks ago where Asuka had interfered in Jennifer Love's match, holding on to the grudge against her. Jennifer Love, with a receipt, gave it back to Asuka the next show. It was last night where she teamed up with Rachel Rodriguez to take on the Kabuki Warriors, picking up an amazing tag team victory. And now she'll be having a singles match. The winner will be #1 contender for the women's title. And here comes the bell. This is our second match in the women's division here tonight. Our last one was an incredible bout between Amanda Price and Rachel Rodriguez, as we just got a brand new women's champion. This is 2 championships that have changed hands. First, Stone Cold defeating Jon Moxley for the World Heavyweight title, and now Amanda Price becoming a 2-time women's champion. But the winner of this match between Jennifer Love and Asuka will become the #1 contender and become Amanda Price's next opponent. And Asuka starting strong with a snake eyes into the turnbuckle. Jennifer Love with a counter, and you can see the huge size difference between Jennifer Love and Asuka. Jennifer Love definitely will have the size and power advantage over Asuka, where Asuka will have her agility and martial arts prowess, her martial arts training against Jennifer Love. Also, don't forget that Asuka is known to be one of the most ruthless women in the ring. Asuka now with a tight hold onto Jennifer Love. And here comes the headlock takedown from Asuka. And she's tightening the hold as Jennifer Love in the middle of the ring. Jennifer Love completely struggling against Asuka's attack. And Jennifer Love now getting to her feet, using that size and power to her advantage. Asuka holding on for dear life here, trying to keep that headlock in place. I see Jennifer Love has very little control as Asuka completely manipulating her opponent like a puppet in the middle of the ring. And here comes a counter for Jennifer Love, now reversing the headlock into an arm lock. And now we see that's Asuka, the one that's struggling here. Jennifer Love, again, that size and power, using it to her advantage to overpower Asuka in this hold. And here she comes with a leg sweep. Immediately going for the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out from Asuka. And don't forget, we still have our main event later tonight, a 30-person Royal Rumble match. It'll start off with 2 competitors. Every 2 minutes, a new competitor will enter the ring. You eliminate your opponent by throwing them over the top rope. Both feet must touch the ground. This will continue until all 30 opponents have entered the Grand Rumble. The winner of that match will be the #1 contender for the Grand Tour Championship and will main event our biggest pay-per-view event, WrestleNova. And look at Asuka with those devastating kicks. Now going for the pin to Jennifer Love. 1, 2, and a kick out from Jennifer Love. Also still to come, we have our headliner match as Steven Dynamite will be challenging Dio Sebation for the Grand Tour title in an ambulance match. And after this, we'll be having our big intergender tag team match as Hercules and Amber Charlotte will be taking on the team of Brenda Bison and Andre Armstrong. An amazing move by Jennifer Love. Amazing offense, but not enough as Asuka still able to kick out on 2. And now here's Jennifer Love sizing up Asuka. Looks like she's looking to put this one away early. And it's a GTS by Jennifer Love onto Asuka as she goes for the pin. 1, 2, and Asuka with a kick out. I see we have some new people entering the room. Welcome, welcome to our live pay-per-view event. We're live here at Greece at the Grand Rumble. Asuka taking on Jennifer Love, #1 contender match for the women's title. And there's Asuka walking the ropes with a dropkick onto Jennifer Love. And look at Asuka with the submission hold. Jennifer Love getting the rope break. Asuka still in pursuit though. Still not ready to let Jennifer Love breathe as she's sizing her up. Here comes the Irish whip. Jennifer Love against the ropes. Asuka goes under. She goes over, full momentum, and a knee right to the gut, followed by a spinning heel kick to the back of the head. She goes for the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out from Jennifer Love. Asuka again go for that kick. Jennifer Love sees it coming this time. Goes in for 2 clotheslines and a sweep from the opponent, Jennifer Love, on to Asuka. Love now making her way to the top turnbuckle, going for a high-flying move as Asuka struggles to get to her feet. And a Superman punch right off the top rope from Jennifer Love. Here goes Asuka against the ropes. Asuka with the reversal, spinning heel kick to take down her opponent. And here goes Asuka applying a sleeper hold onto Jennifer Love, and she's got the hold in tight. I got a comment here in the live chat section. One was saying that Asuka is tiny. I would say Asuka is maybe average someone in the women's division. Jennifer Love is just freakishly tall. Like I said, Jennifer Love does have the size and power advantage in this match. And there's a missile drop kick from Asuka. Asuka working on the hand, looking to break the bones of Jennifer Love. Love immediately kicking the head to get out of that position. And here comes a power bomb. No, Asuka with the right hand to the temple of Jennifer Love, countering the power bomb. And now she tackles Jennifer Love off her feet. Asuka taunting her opponent, playing the mind games onto Jennifer Love. And Jennifer Love not having it. She throws Asuka in the corner, running across the ring. And Asuka ducks out of the way. Asuka saw it coming and had an immediate counter, an immediate answer for Love. And Love kicks out. Here comes Asuka going for those kicks to the midsection. And so far, this demon from Japan is taking full advantage of her opponent. Love trying to fight back here. She throws Asuka into the corner. Here comes the Irish Whip. She brings Asuka off the ropes and a lariat elbow. Followed by a lion salt off the middle rope. And now I see we have Bowling God 74 here in the live chat. Oh, and here comes the pin. 1, 2, a kick out by Asuka. Bowling God 74 in the live chat. Lines were long to get in. The kids were bothering me for some Greek food, which I wanted to RKO them. Their Greek dinner they were having. But guess what? I'm here. Some amazing wrestling and commentating. Kick-ass, ladies. Oh, definitely. Asuka and Jennifer Love definitely bringing it in this match as Asuka just defeats Jennifer Love with a tap out. And what's this? Asuka just made Jennifer Love tap out, and it looks like that's not enough. Asuka's still attacking her defeated opponent, and what's this? Asuka now bringing a table into the ring. Asuka, what are you doing here? You already won the match. You've made your point. You don't need to do this. Oh, Asuka. Asuka's setting up the table. Asuka, don't do this. Don't do this, Asuka. You made your point. You won the match. You're the number one contender. And Jennifer Love goes through the table. Talk about a sore winner. Asuka, you already made Jennifer Love tap out. You won the match. You became the number one contender. There was no need to do that. There was no need to throw Jennifer Love through the table like that. We got a few comments here in the live chat section. One from Mortal's going, holy hell. Bowling God 74 saying, get the tables. Mortal's going, she's crazy. I like it. Enough said. And damn. That was an incredible turn of events. Asuka, after winning the match by tap out, becoming the number one contender for the Women's Championship, could not just end the line right there. Jennifer Love, now a victim, being thrown for the table. We have EMTs coming out as we speak, taking Jennifer Love out of the ring, checking on her vital signs. And you know that our new women's champion, Amanda Price, who had just recently won the championship from Rachel Rodriguez in our last match, is definitely paying close attention to this in the monitors in the back. And now she knows that Asuka will be the next opponent and what Asuka is completely capable of. And now it's time for our big intergender tag team match as the Red Faction go up against the Old Gods, Brenda Bison and the European champion Andre Armstrong against the Mighty Hercules and the Warrior Princess Amber Charlotte. But here's the stipulations to this match. If the Old Gods win, Hercules is promised a championship match. However, if the Old Gods lose to the Red Faction, the no accountability clause in Hercules' contract will be expunged. All the vile, evil acts that Hercules has gotten away with over the past few months is because of that no accountability clause in his contract. Up until now, he cannot be reprimanded. He cannot be held accountable for any of his actions, cannot be fired whatsoever. If he loses tonight, That all goes away, and from this point forward can be held accountable for everything he does. Will Hercules rise or fall? Find out here tonight on our live pay-per-view event here in Greece, the Grand Rumble. And we got Mortalist in our chat going, it's the Russian robots again. Yes, I dare say these two are very focused.
The following contest is a tag team match scheduled for one fall. On their way to the ring, the European Champions, the Russian Gladiator, Andre Armstrong, and the Assassin, Brenda Bison, the Red Faction.
Yep, they are definitely machines. I could definitely agree with you on that, Mortalist. They are 100% focused. However, tonight, they are not just fighting for themselves. Tonight, the Red Faction are fighting for a cause. It was Andre Armstrong's friend, Jamie Haight, who was the first victim of Hercules' attack. Hercules threatening to put someone in the hospital every night until Charles Elliott finally gives in to his demands of giving him a World Heavyweight title match. Unfortunately, Hercules picked the wrong victim, and Andre Armstrong wanted to hold both him and Amber Charlotte accountable. With the help of his partner Brenda Bison, he's hoping to put an end to the no accountability clause in Hercules' contract, but vice versa. If they fail to win tonight's match, Hercules will be given a title shot.
And their opponents, first, representing the Old Gods from Athens, Greece, weighing in at 341 pounds, the mighty, unbreakable, indestructible Hercules!
And here comes the first half of the Old Gods, the leader of the faction, the mighty Hercules, former World Heavyweight Champion, former Grand Tour Champion, former United States Champion. Hercules knows no bounds. Many call him the false god because of his acts of tyranny. But there's no doubt that he is one of the best competitors in the ring. He is one of the strongest, fastest, and most ruthless to ever step into the GTW arena. There's a lot on the line here in tonight's tag team match. A lot on the line for Hercules personally. You got Mortals. Hercules is not 300 pounds, he is 345 pounds. 345 pounds of pure muscle. This man is a human truck. This man is the epitome of power. If he wins tonight, he'll become the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight title, despite that Austin has just retired with the belt. it is in his contract that he will be given a title match, whether that be against a new #1 contender or a replacement champion. But if he loses, he will no longer have no accountability in his actions. He will be held responsible for every vile act he ever does from this point forward.
And representing the Old Gods from Adelaide, South Australia, the Women's United States Champion, the Warrior Princess, Ember Charlotte.
And here comes the Women's United States Champion, the Warrior Princess, Amber Charlotte, Hercules' tag team partner for tonight. The enforcer of the Old Gods, making her way to the ring. Amber Charlotte was the member of the Old Gods that conspired with Hercules when they attacked Jamie Hayter in the backstage area, putting her in the hospital. It is still unclear if Jamie Hayter will even be able to wrestle again after the attack from these two vicious, I don't want to say gods, but the Old Gods. And it looks like we're going to start off with Hercules and the European champion Andre Armstrong in this tag team match. And there's Andre Armstrong with a big boot on the Hercules, starting things off strong. And you can see how personal this is for Andre Armstrong. Don't let his cold demeanor and machine-like stature fool you. Andre Armstrong is taking this very personally, the attack on Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter, when Brenda Bison was out of commission and was stripped from the intergender tag team titles, it was Jamie Hayter that became the substitute. It was Jamie Hayter that fought by Andre Armstrong's side to ensure that he would not be stripped of those tag team titles. And now it's Jamie Hayter who's in the hospital, and it's Andre's turn to repay the favor. And so far, Hercules dominating in this match against the Russian Gladiator. And there's Andre Armstrong with a counter, going for the back of the leg of Hercules. Andre Armstrong, an Olympic-level wrestler, knows darn well the best way to take a man down the size of Hercules is to take out the legs. And Hercules, who's already wrestled Andre Armstrong twice, knows that Andre Armstrong is going to go for those technical advantages. It is now, right off the bat, using his pure muscle, his pure strength, to take out the European champion early. And there's a reversal by Andre Armstrong, reversing the slam into a crossbody splash as he now tags in Brenda Bison. Brenda Bison, a former women's champion, former intergender tag team champion, using those assassin-like kicks onto Hercules, who now tags in Amber Charlotte. And now we got the Russian assassin in the ring against the Warrior Princess. And so far, the Old Gods dominating over the Red faction in this tag team match. And here comes a lariat from Brenda Bison, now making the tag to her partner Andre Armstrong. Andre Armstrong locking up, and there's Amber Charlotte with those brutal knees to the gut of Andre Armstrong. He makes the tag to Hercules, the Old Gods, throwing Andre off the ropes. And a double shoulder takedown by the Old Gods. And Hercules with a Boston Crab. Andre Armstrong reversing the submission hold. There's a chop by Andre Armstrong, now tagging in Bison. Here comes Brenda Bison with the armbar onto Hercules. And look at those right hands from the mighty Hercules. Bison with the reversal. And look at her. Look how clever this girl is. Using the leverage of that top rope to choke out Hercules. She knows damn well she's going to need that leverage to use to her advantage against someone with that size and power. However, that did not last long as Hercules immediately overpowering Brenda Bison. Bison going for that precision strike to the ribs. And it's a neckbreaker from Hercules onto Brenda Bison. The last time Hercules was in the ring with Bison, it ended with Hercules delivering the God Spear, breaking Brenda Bison in two. The last time these two were in the ring together in an intergender tag team match, Hercules put Brenda Bison into the hospital for months. And it was Amber Charlotte using those ropes as leverage, a dirty tactic implemented by one half of the Old Gods here. Brenda Bison now throwing Amber Charlotte into the corner, and an attack from behind by Andre Armstrong. Amazing teamwork by the Red Faction. And here comes the Fisherman Suplex, rolled into a pin by Brenda Bison. And Amber Charlotte kicks out. Bison now going for a crossface, looking for a submission hold. We already had two matches, and by submission, we could have a third one. And no, Amber Charlotte rolls out of the move with a hard right to the face of Brenda Bison. And now Amber Charlotte sizing Bison up. One, two, and Bison kicking out. Amber Charlotte now tagging in Hercules. We got Bison now in the ring against this 345 muscle-bound warrior. And a tilt-a-whirl slam, full force by Hercules on the Bison. You see Andre Armstrong in the corner desperately looking for that tag. Bison coming up the ropes, and she jumps over Hercules using her agility to her advantage. You got to give it to Bison. When Hercules is using that size and power to his advantage, his natural advantage. Bison playing his match smart, using everything she has at her disposal. But here comes Hercules with a kick to the face of Bison. And a power slam by the former champion. Bison tagging in Andre Armstrong. And now we have Armstrong in the ring with Hercules as he goes for the pin. Hercules immediately kicks out. Here comes Andre Armstrong, the Irish Whip. And a German suplex by the European champion. Andre Armstrong on that rope. Gets a kick to gain some distance from Hercules. And a drop kick by the Russian Gladiator. And amazing power by this Olympic level athlete as Andre Armstrong able to fling Hercules like that. And look at him using that leverage against Hercules. Unfortunately, Hercules is able to get the rope break with his feet. But Hercules smashing, his head being smashed by Andre Armstrong. Armstrong off the ropes with a splash onto Hercules. He's going for the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out from Hercules. Hercules with a fireman's carry. and a face plant. Full force into the ring. Amber Charlotte attacking Andre from behind. Andre ducking under the Superman punch. And another German suplex by the Russian Gladiator. He makes a tag to Brenda Bison. And once again, the last time Hercules was in the ring with Brenda Bison. Brenda Bison broken in half by the God Spear. Forced to be the Women's Championship being vacated from her. The Intergender Tag Team Championship being vacated due to the injury that Hercules caused Brenda Bison months ago. And that's gotta be in the back of Brenda Bison's mind every time Hercules is tagged in. And look at that agility by Amber Charlotte. And Mortalis claiming in the live chat that Brenda Bison came in with a robot kick. Mortalis completely convinced, as I'm sure a lot of other people are, that Brenda Bison is in fact a robot. Here's Bison with those elbows to the neck of Amber Charlotte. Amber Charlotte with an elbow. An open hand chop by Amber Charlotte, now using the middle rope as leverage to wrench the leg of Brenda Bison. Bison now in the corner, she's taking a lot of damage in the hands of Amber Charlotte here. And look at that, full power as Amber Charlotte throws Brenda Bison her shoulder going into the steel ring post, nearly dislocating it. And now she takes a Hercules, telling the leader of her faction, her lord, the mighty Hercules, to finish her off. As Hercules now makes his way to the top turnbuckle, Brenda Bison barely able to stand on her feet. And here comes Hercules with a double axel and a reversal by Brenda Bison out of nowhere. And a clothesline into the throat of Hercules. A desperate counter by the Russian assassin, now throwing Hercules into the corner. She makes the tag to Andre Armstrong and the Red Faction with a double team move on Hercules. Brenda Bison holding him back. Andre Armstrong with a shot to the ribs. And now here comes a sleeper hold by Andre Armstrong onto Hercules, and Amber Charlotte coming in to break up the submission hold just in time to save Hercules. And there's Hercules with a spear onto Andre Armstrong. Here comes the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out. Andre Armstrong getting the shoulder up. And now Hercules starting to get angry. It's not often that someone kicks out of one of Hercules' spears. And the fact that Andre Armstrong so easily getting the shoulder up is just infuriating. And there's the Old Gods double team on Andre Armstrong. Amber Charlotte sizing him up. Amber Charlotte looking for the finisher. And here comes the double-edged DDT by Amber Charlotte. Here comes the pin. 1, 2, and Brenda Bison saves the match. Charlotte now bringing Andre into the corner. She takes in Hercules. The Old Gods throwing Andre Armstrong against the ropes, and a double hit toss by the Old Gods. Hercules bringing Andre to his knees, and a big boot knocking the European champion down. Brenda Bison desperately trying to get that tag. And here's a reversal by Andre Armstrong. And don't forget, right after this tag team match, we have our headliner match before the Grand Rumble, as Steven Dynamite will be challenging Dio Sebation for the Grand Tour Championship in an ambulance match. Followed by our main event, the Grand Rumble. 30 wrestlers will compete in an elimination style match. The last one standing will be the #1 contender for the Grand Tour title in the main event of WrestleNova. And now we we got Amber Charlotte attacking Brenda Bison out. Taking her out of commission. The Old Gods now outside the ring, double teaming on Andre Armstrong. And this Amber Charlotte with a submission hold, it won't do her any good outside the ring, but it will weaken and damage the legs of her opponent. And look at Hercules just watching, laughing as Amber Charlotte tears Andre Armstrong apart, just enjoying the show. And here comes a hip toss from Andre Armstrong, reversing Amber Charlotte. An overhand chop from Andre Armstrong. They grapple up. Here goes Andre Armstrong. Now tagging in Brenda Bison. We have the two women in the ring in this intergender tag team match. Brenda Bison going for a clothesline. Amber Charlotte with the interception. And look at Amber Charlotte using her power advantage over Bison. She's getting aggressive, throwing Brenda Bison right into the referee there. She's getting reckless and sloppy, and Brenda Bison now taking advantage of it. Look at her, using the ropes as leverage to wrench the arm of her opponent. Now choking Amber Charlotte with her heel. And Amber Charlotte gets the double-edged DDT, her finisher move. And Andre Armstrong breaking up the count before it can even start. Amber Charlotte now getting the tag to Hercules. We have a very weakened Brenda Bison in the ring with Hercules right now. And here comes Bison with a figure four leg lock onto Hercules. Look at Hercules screaming in pain. And I can't tell you how satisfying that is to watch, to see Hercules struggle in that figure four leg lock. Bison now going for the crossface. She has Hercules in the middle of the ring, and Brenda Bison being interrupted by Amber Charlotte. And it looks like she had enough. Enough of Amber Charlotte's interference, and now she's attacking Hercules' partner. Bison being too distracted by Amber Charlotte, and Hercules gets the Superman punch. 1, 2, 3, and the Old Gods win.
Here are your winners, the mighty, unbreakable, indestructible Hercules, and the warrior princess, Charlotte, the Old Gods.
Brenda Bison was in complete control. However, she let her emotions get in the way as she allowed her feelings towards Amber Charlotte to get in the way. She allowed herself to get distracted, and that gave Hercules enough time to come in with a Superman punch and get the 3 count. And now, as a result, not only will Hercules remain to have his non-accountability clause in his contract, he will now have a championship match. And Morris goes, considering the bots smashed. Consider the bots smashed. Yep, the Old Gods have completely decimated the Red Faction in tonight's tag team match. And now, before we get into tonight's main event, the Grand Rumble, we have our headliner match. The Grand Tour Championship on the line as Steven Dynamite is challenging the champion Dio Sebation. But it won't just be any match. These two will be competing in an ambulance match. This is not just about the title, but this is personal between these two veterans, these two GTW legends, former best friends, former brothers, now at war. And this all started when Dio became too controlling of his sister of the Witch. This all started when Steven Dynamite had asked the Witch to be his tag team partner for a tag team title match. Ever since then, Dio Sebation has been going after Dynamite, the Witch, breaking the Fallen, splitting away from her tag team partner, and Dynamite is the one that Dio blames. And now it's all come down to this. One man will walk out with the Grand Tour Championship, and the other will be sent to the hospital in an ambulance. Who will it be? Will it be the chosen one, Steven Dynamite, or the Grand Tour champion, the Demon, Dio Sebation? Find out right here, live on pay-per-view on Grease at the Grand Rumble.
The following contest is an ambulance match and is for the Grand Prix Championship.
And here comes the challenger for tonight. The crowd here in Greece going absolutely nuts for the chosen one. Steven Dynamite coming out with his explosive entrance here in this giant stadium. Thousands of fans watching. And I see Mortals going, "Ah, my boy, Sebation." I could definitely see Mortals is a Dio Sebation fan. However, lately, he has not been a fan favorite due to his recent actions. The way he's been treating his ex-girlfriend Amanda Price, the way he's been controlling the Witch, the way he's been going after Steven Dynamite, gaslighting him, blaming him for every mistake he's made in the last couple of months. It was at New Year's All-Star where things started to come to a head. Dio Sebation interfering in Steven Dynamite's match, coming in, acting like he was his friend, acting like he was there to protect him, only to knock him out, nearly causing Dynamite his match against Damian Maximus. And here comes the Grand Tour champion, Dio Sebation, making his way to the ring. And you can see he's not getting a well reception here in Greece. The Witch recently breaking things off with Dio Sebation, breaking up the Fallen, telling Dio he's too controlling, that she is not like the man her older brother has become. Dio Sebation has since then been gaslighting Dynamite, blaming him for the split up of the Fallen. Again, the title is on the line, but this between these two men is not about the title. This is a personal matter between two friends who are now bitter enemies.
Introducing the challenger from Long Island, New York, weighing in at 214 pounds, the chosen one, Stephen Dynamite. And his opponent from New York, weighing in at 246 pounds, the Grand Prix champion, the Demon, Dio Sebation.
Both of them growing up in New York. Both have come into GTW from the New York indie scene. Dynamite calling Dio one of the only man in the locker room he can actually call his friend. And Dio has broken that trust. And here it is, the ambulance.
There are no pinfalls, submissions, disqualifications, or countouts. The only way to win is for a superstar to force their opponent into the ambulance by any means necessary. After closing both doors, the remaining superstar will be declared the winner. Now, let the match begin!
And here we go. Mortal's commenting that Dio looks a little scary. Yeah, well, there's a reason why they call him the Demon. And here we go. Dynamite versus Dio right here in an ambulance match. One man will walk out the Grand Tour champion. The other one will be sent to the hospital. This match will not end until one of these two is completely hospitalized. And here goes Dynamite off the ropes with a crossbody splash onto Dio Sebation. Here's Dio throwing off Stephen Dynamite. These two big legends here in GTW. Dio Sebation, the current Grand Tour Wrestling champion. Stephen Dynamite, the former Grand Tour champion. Both these two top main event superstars here in our main event roster. And with that size and power, Dio Sebation, that's what it's going to come down to. Dio is going to have the strength advantage, whereas Dynamite is going to have the agility. There's Dynamite with a leg scissors onto Dio Sebation. And already this fight has been taken outside the ring. And Dio making his way to the top rope. Being Dynamite dodging. Being a high flyer himself, Dynamite knows full well what Dio was about to do and immediately knew to get out of the way. And here he comes with a Hurricanrana, followed by a Lion Salt by the Chosen One. And you can see these two men are reading each other so well in this match. These two know each other. Like, these two have trained together. They used to be best friends. There's no one who knows each other better than them. Dio with a right hand on the Stephen Dynamite. And there's the Grand Tour champion using that power, that demon-like strength to his advantage over the challenger. And he just throws Stephen Dynamite full force into the barricade. Dio already opening up the ambulance doors, looking to end this one early. And Dynamite rolls out of the way. And Dynamite now slamming Dio into the barricade. Again, Dynamite using that agility to his advantage, and now he's sizing him up. Dynamite looked like he was about to go for a Psycho Cutter, and here's Dio countering, now putting Dynamite in a Boston Crab. There's no pins or submissions in this match, but ideally locking a submission hold would cause a great deal of damage to his opponent. And there's Dynamite driving the knee into the arm of Dio Sebation there. Dynamite now throwing Dio back in the ring. In this type of match, that's probably the safest place you can be, as Dynamite comes off the top rope with a cross body splash. Remember, Steven Dynamite is a high flyer. When he's in the ring, that's when he has the biggest advantage. There's Dynamite setting Dio up. Dio with a hit toss. And a power slam onto the unforgiving stadium floor by Dio Sebation. There's only a thin layer of mat between them and the concrete. And Dio with an end of days onto Steven Dynamite. Dio getting his finisher move early in this match. After hitting the end of days, he's throwing Dynamite in the ambulance. And Dynamite not done yet as he's fighting Dio to keep that door open. And there's Dio overpowering Dynamite. He's going to close that door. And Dynamite still trying to fight with everything he has, and he manages to kick the door open, flying out of the ambulance. Another power slam by Dio, overwhelming Dynamite in this championship match. And there is, he just slammed Steven Dynamite's head into the ambulance door. And here he is, he's trying again, throwing him back inside the ambulance. This door, Dynamite again, trying to keep that door open. Dio being too strong for him though. That's amazing considering the idea of this match is incapacitating your opponent to the point where they have to go to the hospital. You think Dio, with all the gaslighting and hate he has for Dynamite, would want to deal more punishment. It seems like he's trying to end this match as early as possible, and Dynamite, catching up to the strategy, is now he's throwing Dio into the ambulance. And now Dio the one who's about to be locked aside. Dynamite about to become Grand Tour champion here. And there's Dio who pushes the door open. And Moore's going, yep, right back in. Here comes Dio going for a powerbomb. Dynamite reversing. It looks like Dio is about to set for a chokeslam, and Dynamite sees it coming. Now Dynamite throwing Dio back inside the ring. Dynamite going for a high-flying move. It looks like he might have damaged himself on the impact there. This way, Irish Whip. Dio reverses. He throws Dynamite over the top rope. And once again, these two fighting by the ambulance. And here goes Dio once again, getting the end of day on Steven Dynamite. There he is, attempting for Dynamite in the ambulance once again. It looks like Dynamite has been busted open there. I can see some blood coming. I can see a cut on Dynamite's head, blood pouring out now. Dio again trying to get Dynamite back in that ambulance. Remember, whoever can lock the opponent in the ambulance will be declared the winner and be Grand Tour champion. Dio with a hard elbow into the face of Dynamite. Dynamite who's starting to lose a lot of blood right now. An amazing maneuver by the chosen one, Steven Dynamite, onto the Grand Tour champion, Dio Sebation. And there's Dynamite slamming Dio's head onto the ambulance there. And he's looking to throw him inside. Dynamite struggling to get that door closed. He's going for the second one. Will he get it in? Dio fighting back here. Dio barely able to push his way out of the ambulance. What's Dio going to do here? And there he goes, slamming Steven Dynamite, his head bouncing off the ring apron. Dynamite once again taking this match back inside the ring. He comes off the rope, and here's a hurricanrana by the chosen one, Steven Dynamite. Dynamite with a snap suplex onto Dio Sebation. He comes with a clothesline, and Dio reversing with a jawbuster. And here goes Dio, wrenching the ankle of Steven Dynamite. Looks like he's trying to break that ankle there. Here's a slingshot. Dio slingshotting Dynamite over his shoulders. He comes off the second rope with a frog splash. And here comes Dio going under the ring. Looks like he's looking for 400. And here's a sledgehammer. Dio has a sledgehammer. Sledgehammer now in the ring here. Dio. He's looking so proud. You can see that little blood's trickling from him as well. These two men doing everything to each other. Dio attacking Dynamite with that sledgehammer, and he just tosses him like a sack of potatoes into that ambulance right there. He easily gets the door closed this time. Dynamite desperately fighting back. And he does, he manages to kick the door open. Dynamite is still in this match. And here goes Dynamite coming in with a psycho cutter onto Dio Sebation. Dynamite getting his finisher moving. And now, here's a knee to the face for good measure. He throws Dio into the ambulance. Dio barely hanging on. Both men look like they barely have anything left. There's Dio trying to hold that door open. You can see Dynamite shaking as he goes to close the door. And look at them, both Dio and Dynamite barely standing right now. Dio now picking out Dynamite. And again slamming his head into that steel ringside. Into the steel rim of the ring. What's Dio doing? Dio's climbing on top of the ambulance. What's he gonna do here? Dio, I don't know what you're thinking. And he's jumping off the ambulance to the front splash. Dynamite rolls out of the way. Dio attempting to do a front splash off the ambulance, and Dynamite rolls out of the way. This might be the opportunity Dynamite needs. Dio went for a very high-risk maneuver, and the high reward did not pay off. Dynamite now taking advantage of his mistake, now throwing Dio into the ambulance. This could be all he needs. He could be the new Grand Tour champion right here. No, Dio's still able to get the door open. Dynamite nearly had it that time. We have Motos in the chat screaming. How did you miss that? Now Dio with a fireman's carry. This Dynamite completely bruised, battered, and bloody. And Dio going for that second door. Going to shut that second door here. Will he get it? No, Dynamite still able to get out. Just look at Dynamite. He looks like he was hit by a truck. He's got bruises all over his body. He's got blood all over his face. Dynamite still in this match though. He's still not ready to give up as he springs off that top rope, delivering a moonsault onto onto Dio. And now Dynamite going for the Psycho Cutter, his finisher move. And he delivers the Psycho Cutter onto Dio Sebation. Morno's now commenting, that was dope. Dynamite is definitely one of the great high flyers. Probably the best high flyer in GTW. He got the Psycho Cutter in on Dio Sebation. You can see Dio trembling. Dynamite's weak, but he may get this. Dynamite might be weakened enough for him to close the door. If he can get a shot, we'll have a new Grand Tour champion. And it was to no avail. Dio still in this match, still Grand Tour champion. There's a lariat right hook by Dio Sebation, using that full force momentum onto the challenger, Steven Dynamite. And now he's putting Steven Dynamite, any Boston Crab, trying to break the back of his opponent, his former best friend. And this match is just a tragedy. These two used to trust each other without question. They used to trust each other with their lives. And now they're beating each other to death. Beating each other so badly that one of them is gonna have to go to the hospital after this match. What's Dynamite doing? He's climbing on that ladder. Dynamite going to the top of the ambulance. This might be the same mistake that Dio made earlier. And Dio wondering if he should go up after Dynamite. And here's Dynamite attempting to jump up, and I guess he lost more blood than we thought, as he had no idea where his target was. That's the thing when it comes to these types of matches, is you start losing so much blood that you're unable to think straight. And as Dio taking advantage of Dynamite's mistake as he does a powerbomb into the steel floor of the inside of the ambulance. He gets the first door shut. He's going for the second door, and he does it. Dynamite is locked inside. Dio Sebation remains the Grand Tour champion.
Here is your winner, and still the Grand Prix champion, the Demon, Dio Sebation.
And Dio remains Grand Tour champion in spite of his former friend, Steven Dynamite. Dancing Red Sox says there's so much blood on the floor. And we got another comment from Mortal saying, oh my god, that was a cool match. That was an amazing championship match. Unfortunately for Steven Dynamite, Dio Sebation proved that he is the more ruthless out of the two legends. That was an incredible headliner title match. We now have the ambulance driving off, delivering Steven Dynamite to the hospital as Dio Sebation remains victorious. But now it's time for our main event. We now have the Grand Rumble match. 30 competitors in the ring. The winner will become the #1 contender for the Grand Tour Championship at our biggest pay-per-view event, WrestleNova. 30 wrestlers, both men and women, who will come on top, who will become #1 contender for the Grand Tour Championship, who will be main eventing WrestleNova. Find out here at the Grand Rumble, live on pay-per-view.
The following is the Royal Rumble match. Now, the two superstars that drew #1 and #2 will start the ring at the same time. Other superstars will join in the order they drew. This will continue until all 30 superstars have entered the ring. Eliminations occur when you are thrown over the top rope with both feet landing on the floor. The last superstar in the ring will be declared the Royal Rumble winner and will go on to face the champion of their choice at WrestleMania!
Nova! And here comes the #1 pick for the Grand Rumble as Axiom, the masked luchador, the high-flying superhero, makes his way to the ring to open this Grand Rumble match.
Introducing the participants. First, representing Axiom from Madrid, Spain, weighing in at 154 pounds, Axiom!
Axiom, new to GTW, a former WWE wrestler, will now be opening the match. He's known for his high-flying style, using his superhero agility and speed. Axiom draws #1. Probably the worst luck of the draw in this type of match, but still, if he can defeat 29 other opponents, he will be #1 contender for Grand Tour Championship. And look at his opponent, what a treat this is gonna be.
Introducing the individual who drew #2 from Kyoto, Japan, weighing in at 202 pounds,
Chosen, another masked high-flying wrestler, is gonna be #2. We're gonna be starting off with our two masked high-flying adventurers, as Axiom will be starting off against Chosen, the former Intercontinental Champion. And I think we're in for a huge treat. Both of these men know for their agility and high-flying styles. One masked wrestler from Mexico, one masked wrestler from Japan. Both of them masked legends, starting off the Grand Rumble. And we'll be getting started in the Grand Rumble coming up next. And we're starting off this match here in the Grand Rumble as we got Axiom versus Chosen. And Chosen starting off strong. Now, the best strategy for this type of match is to eliminate your first opponent as quickly as possible. The more wrestlers that get in the ring at one time, the less likely your chances are of winning this match. And there's Chosen going for a moonsault onto Axiom. Axiom moving out of the way. And it's Chosen with a drop kick, knocking Axiom down. Axiom with a drop kick. Chosen dodges out of the way, and it seems these two masked wrestlers completely even in this match. And there's Chosen going over the top rope. We can have our first elimination, and now Axiom kicks Chosen just in the nick of time to save himself from elimination. And who knows who #3 could be. It could be anyone. Anyone could be entering this match. We could be having the witch who declared in Dystopia that she would enter the Grand Rumble. We could have someone who's already wrestled here tonight, like Hercules, or or Dio Sebation. We could have Amanda Price in here. She just won the Women's Championship. Who knows, she might have entered the Grand Rumble in hopes of also going after the Grand Tour title, wrestling her ex Dio Sebation. It could be, I don't know, it could be Joe Hendry. Oh my gosh. Say his name and he shall appear. Joe Hendry is the third contestant here in the Grand Rumble. And looks like he's entering the Grand Rumble, this 30 wrestler event. And I don't know about you, but I just said his name. He appeared. I, for one, believe in Joe Hendry. And it looks like Mortals in the chat says, say his name and he appears. We got a fan here in the live chat who also believes in Joe Hendry. We now have 3 men in the ring. Axiom, Chosen, Joe Hendry now competing for the #1 contender of the Grand Tour Championship. The winner of this match will main event WrestleNova. And Joe Hendry over the top rope. Axiom looking for that elimination. Here comes Chosen intercepting. If Chosen was smart, he would have let Axiom get the elimination there. That would have only increased his chances. And there's Joe Hendry with a drop kick onto Chosen. Axiom going for the Irish whip. Joe Hendry now has Axiom into the corner. And a reversal by Joe Hendry. And Chosen attacking Joe Hendry from behind. Goes for a spinning heel kick. And Joe Hendry reverses to a super kick. Joe Hendry now with those elbow strikes. There's Joe Hendry with an Irish whip. Axiom over the top rope. And Axiom just saved himself from elimination. And here comes entry #4 in the Grand Rumble. And here comes Haley Webb, our first female contestant here in the Grand Rumble. Remember, the Grand Tour Championship can be won by any wrestler from any division. This match has a mix of both men and women from both divisions. Haley Webb now the first female contestant in this match. Joe Hendry over the top rope here. And we got Haley Webb throwing those elbows onto Axiom. Joe Hendry doing the same for Chosen. And look at Haley Webb. She's on fire. Completely taking it to the men right now. Putting Joe Hendry with a fireman's carry. The masked wrestlers, Axiom and Chosen, once again going at it. Axiom looking to eliminate Chosen, trying to get him over that top rope. And there's Joe Hendry over the top rope as well. And now Haley Webb and Axiom double team on Chosen, and Chosen has been eliminated. We have our first elimination in tonight's Rumble match. And here's Joe Hendry with a knee to Haley Webb. And now an elbow strike to Axiom. And it's just to show you that this is a completely chaotic match. Anyone could win the Grand Rumble here. And Joe Hendry's just been eliminated. It's now between Haley Webb and Axiom. And it seems we now temporarily have an impromptu intergender match as Haley Webb now in the ring against this master luchador. And there's a drop kick from Axiom. Joe Hendry and Chosen both eliminated. Axiom now throwing Haley Webb over the ring. She goes for a drop kick. Haley Webb dodges though. As Haley Webb with those elbows. Axiom with a Hurricanrana. And here comes contestant number 5 here in the Grand Rumble. And here comes the Women's Intercontinental Champion, Megan. And now we have 2 women in the ring against Axiom. Megan, the Women's Intercontinental Champion, going up against Axiom at the moment with Haley Webb knocked out inside the ring. And here comes Megan. Megan, who has had a very impressive undefeated streak so far. And here comes Haley Webb coming in with a pile driver onto Crimson Fox Megan. Axiom with a kick onto Haley Webb. And a standing moonsault by Axiom. Now Axiom has Haley Webb on that top rope, and here comes Megan getting Axiom from behind. Here comes the Irish Whip. Axiom reverses. Megan over the top rope. However, Axiom unable to capitalize, distracted by Haley Webb. And here's a huge kick by Axiom on to Crimson Fox Megan. Haley Webb now with Irish Whip. Axiom over the top rope. And Axiom rolls under the bottom rope just in time to save himself from being eliminated by Haley Webb. And now we've got the two women double teaming on Axiom. Axiom down. They're now turning each other. Look at that power from the Women's Intercontinental Champion, Haley Webb. However, able to reverse into a DDT. And we're about to get contestant number 6 here in the Grand Rumble. Who will be the next competitor coming out to the ring? And here comes Kairi Sane, a member of Damage Control and one half of the Kabuki Warriors. Kairi Sane now in the match here in the Grand Rumble. Axiom with a dropkick on Kairi Sane. Crimson Fox Megan now looking to eliminate Haley Webb. She has her hanging over that top rope. And vice versa, Kairi Sane barely hanging on the ring apron. Haley Webb throwing those elbows, rolling back under, getting back in the ring. Haley Webb still in the Grand Rumble. And Axiom now over the top rope, and Axiom has just been eliminated by Crimson Fox Megan. We're now having 3 competitors in the ring as Kairi Sane, Haley Webb, and Crimson Fox Megan tango in the Grand Rumble. Axiom now eliminated from this match. And there's an axe kick by Kairi Sane, followed by moonsault. Crimson Fox Megan rolling out of the way. You see Haley Webb knocked out in the corner of the ring here. And here comes Megan delivering a slingshot onto Kairi Sane. Haley Webb coming in. An amazing backflip kick by Haley Webb. We're very close to getting our 7th entry here in the Grand Rumble, and I can't wait to see who we got coming out next. So far, this match has been an all-star event. And here comes the GTW Men's Intercontinental Champion, Grayson Holiday. Grayson Holiday, who last night had a very successful title defense against Chosen, is now our 7th entry in the Grand Rumble. And there's Crimson Fox Megan being eliminated by Haley Webb. I guess there's only room in the Grand Rumble for one Intercontinental Champion. Grayson Holiday, another wrestler who has been going match after match undefeated. A celebrated Intercontinental Champion, now trying to eliminate Kairi Sane in the Grand Rumble. And here's Haley Webb intercepting Grayson Holiday. Kairi Sane now putting her focus onto Haley Webb. If Kairi Sane and Haley Webb were smart, they would work together against Grayson Holiday. This man is no joke. He has been dominating against every opponent he's faced in the ring. And this is a strong player. This is someone you definitely want to eliminate early on in this match. And there's Haley Webb with a German suplex onto Grayson Holiday. Grayson Holiday doing a very smart move, rolling under the bottom rope. That decreases his chance of being eliminated. Now Grayson Holiday with the recovery, going after Haley Webb. He has her in a fireman's carry. Haley Webb throwing those elbows to the Intercontinental Champion. An amazing maneuver. What a way to use her knees. And there's Kairi Sane sweeping the leg. And now we're 5 seconds away. We're finding out who's contestant number 8. And here comes Gigi, contestant number 8, coming out here in the Grand Rumble. Now Haley Webb putting Gigi in a fireman's carry. Kairi Sane attempting to get Holiday Gray over the top rope. Holiday Gray gaining advantage, and there's Gigi going over the top rope. Haley Webb attempting elimination here, and Gigi immediately eliminated. She lasted all but not even a minute in the ring. She comes in as entry number 7 and immediately eliminated. Sorry, entry number 8. I'm starting to lose count, to be honest with you. There's a cross body splash by Kairi Sane onto Grayson Holiday. And another frog splash by Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane bringing Grayson Holiday to the rope. And there's Grayson Holiday with a double headbutt onto Haley Webb and Kairi Sane, followed by a DDT. There he is, thrusting those elbows into Haley Webb. And here comes a wheelbarrow stunner by Grayson Holiday. Here he is with that spinning heel kick. Kairi Sane ducking under. Amazing maneuver by Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane now on the top rope. High flying move. And here comes contestant number 9 here in the Grand Rumble. And here comes the Great Khali. This man right here might be the equalizer here in the Grand Rumble. Khali is as big, as powerful as they come, rivaling even the strength of Hercules. It seems his entrance had distracted the two competitors long enough for Grayson Holiday to save himself from elimination. And now here's Khali bringing Kairi Sane over the top rope, trying to eliminate Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane has just been eliminated, thrown over the top rope by the Great Khali. Now Khali going for the strongest wrestler in the ring right now, going after Grayson Holiday with an open hand chop. And it looks like Haley Webb just made a mistake of trying to take the Great Khali head on here. Khali going for Irish whip. He goes over the top rope. And a knee to Haley Webb, saving himself. And there's a cutter by Grayson Holiday. Khali now putting his focus on the Intercontinental Champion, Holiday Gray. Now throwing Khali over the top rope. Khali, too powerful for him, too strong. And Grayson Holiday unable to eliminate this super heavyweight as he comes in with a big boot on the Intercontinental Champion. Here's Grayson Holiday throwing the elbows to the Great Khali. And it looks like Grayson Holiday and Haley Webb have the same idea, double teaming on Khali. And here comes the next contestant here in the Grand Rumble. And here comes Amy Zero. Amy Zero, one half of the intergender tag team champions, one half of the Wolfpack. Now in the ring, and Grayson Holiday has just been eliminated. And we got Mortal Skin in the chat going. He is big as hell. Great Khali is one of the biggest wrestlers in pro wrestling history. This is a man of size and power. And now we got both Amy Zero and Haley Webb alone in the ring with this monster. And we see Amy Zero barely facing Khali here. Grayson Holiday, who is one of the best competitors in the mid-card division, was just eliminated. And this is just a testament to Amy Zero's own power right there as she's able to slam the Great Khali. Here's Amy Zero throwing those elbows to Haley Webb. And Khali again with that size and power. Amy Zero going for the Irish Whip, throwing Khali into the corner. Haley Webb going for the Irish Whip. Haley Webb now over the top rope. And Haley Webb barely saving herself from being eliminated by Amy Zero. Remember, it's every person for themselves in this match. There are no allies, there are no teams. This is all about earning the right to main event WrestleNova to challenge the Grand Tour champion. An incredible reversal by Haley Webb onto Amy Zero. And then there's Khali with a clothesline from behind. And we're about to get our next contestant here in the Grand Rumble. Here comes Jaden Hayes. Jaden Hayes, now the next competitor here in the Grand Rumble, immediately being attacked by Haley Webb. And look at Amy Zero go as she has Khali in that corner. Jaden Hayes now locking up with Amy Zero. Snake Eyes into the top turnbuckle. And Haley Webb looks like she's in a lot of trouble. Khali looked like he's about to go for elimination. Haley Webb saving herself with a wheelbarrow DDT. And we see Jaden Hayes sizing up Amy Zero. Meanwhile, Haley Webb trying to eliminate Great Khali. Khali too big, and here's Jaden Hayes helping Haley Webb as they're both trying to get Khali, but Khali is just too big even for the two of them. Amy Zero now taking advantage of the distraction. And here's Haley Webb with a dropkick onto Amy Zero, and look at Khali just choking out Jaden Hayes. Khali with a big boot onto Haley Webb. Here comes some elbows from Haley Webb onto Khali, going for the ribs. Goes for the Irish Whip. Khali over the top rope. And look how easily Khali overpowers Haley Webb as she goes for that elimination. And there's Amy Zero over the top rope, and Jaden Hayes has just eliminated Amy Zero. And here comes Duke Hudson, one half of Chase University, now entering the Grand Rumble. And he's going to go strikes. And look at Khali lifting up Haley Webb. And Duke Hudson from behind, attacking the Great Khali. The tide is now turned as we now have these two men going up against Kali. Jaden Hayes now putting his focus onto Haley Webb. Haley Webb reversing Jaden Hayes. He has him over the top rope, but Jaden Hayes with an elbow strike manages to get distance and gets back in the ring. Quick thinking by Jaden Hayes, avoiding elimination. Now we have Duke Hudson getting Kali against the ropes as he's attempting to lift him over the top rope. And he's so close. Kali barely hanging on there. Duke Hudson might get the elimination here. And no, Kali's overpowering him. And he's still in his match. However, Haley Webb able to eliminate Jaden Hayes. And here comes Haley Webb attempting a neckbreaker on Kali. Here comes his elbows. We now have 3 competitors in the ring here in the Grand Rumble. And there's a big boot by the big Kali onto Duke Hudson. Webb off the ropes. Superman punch on the great Kali. And we're 5 seconds away to finding out our next entry for the Grand Rumble. And here comes Fuego Lopez entering the ring, the masked luchador from Mexico. Fuego Lopez now entering the Grand Rumble. We have Duke Hudson bringing Fuego Lopez onto the top turnbuckle. And I don't believe Kali with a super kick has just been eliminated by Haley Webb. That's why I thought this girl could not be any more amazing. She ends up being the one with a precise super kick to eliminate that super heavyweight Kali. And now we have the 2 women double teaming on Duke Hudson, trying to get him over the top rope. And there's Duke Hudson with an elbow on Lopez, a right hook onto Haley Webb, and Duke Hudson still in this match. With Haley Webb with an Irish whip. Lopez with a Russian leg sweeper onto Haley Webb. And it's a wheelbarrow kick. And Lopez coming in with a lion salt. Haley Webb spring off the rope with a drop kick onto Fuego Lopez. Lopez now kicking off Haley Webb. Duke Hudson with a grapple, and here comes a powerbomb. Lopez reversing the powerbomb. Amazing counter by Fuego Lopez. You can definitely see the women are playing very smart in this match, using their agility and speed to their advantage against their men counterparts. And there's Duke Hudson slamming Haley Webb into the turnbuckle. There's a receipt by Haley Webb, and now she comes in with a knee to Lopez, seeing her coming in from behind. And now we're about to get our next entry. Who will be coming in next? And here comes Damian Maximus. Damian Maximus is our next entry here in the Grand Rumble. This right here could be the tide turner. Damian Maximus, when he started as an amateur, was not very impressive, but over the past few months, under the tutelage of both Steven Dynamite and then later Hercules himself, learning from the old gods, Damian Maximus has proven himself to be quite the competitor, be quite the contender, and he could be the biggest danger in this match right now. Haley Webb going for that Irish whip. There's Haley Webb with those elbow shots. A reverse DDT by Duke Hudson on the Fuego Lopez. And Lopez over the top rope. And Lopez has been eliminated. Haley Webb now getting Duke Hudson on the top rope, and Duke Hudson's been eliminated. It's now between Haley Webb and Damian Maximus. We have two competitors in the ring here in the Grand Rumble. It's Haley Webb with a kick to Damian Maximus. She knows how dangerous this man is. She knows who he's learned from, and she knows that he is not above doing whatever it takes to win. Damian Maximus would love nothing more than to win this match, to become #1 contender and face Dio Sebation at WrestleNova for the Grand Tour title. And here he is, trying to eliminate Haley Webb, and he succeeds. Damian Maximus is now the lone competitor in the Grand Rumble. Now waiting for the next entry. Who will it be? Who will stand up against Maximus? And here comes Charles Dumpley, the next entry. We haven't seen much of him in GTW, but it looks like he's looking to take on Damian Maximus here in the Grand Rumble. And here goes Maximus, already dominating against Charles Dumpley here. He has him trapped in the corner, and look at that ruthless aggression by Damian Maximus, one half of the Olympians, protege to Hercules, member of the Old Gods. Charles Dumpley attempting a dropkick. Maximus getting out of the way. And here comes Damian Maximus with a reverse Boston Crab. Charles Dumpley escaping the attack. He goes for a lariat. Damian Maximus moves out of the way. And a dropkick from behind from Maximus. Here comes the Irish Whip. Dumpley now in the corner. And here comes Maximus attempting an elimination. We could have Maximus once again the lone wrestler in the ring here in the Grand Rumble. And it is Charles Dumpley with a right hook, saving himself from elimination. Charles Dumpley, also known for his dirty fighting, not exactly a fan favorite. And amazing counter onto Damian Maximus there. Maximus with a retort though, giving Dumpley the receipt. And here it comes. Maximus is ready. He's setting up. Here comes Divine Judgment. Dumpley reverses though. He reverses the Divine Judgment. And we're 5 seconds away from getting our next contestant in the Grand Rumble. And here comes Dorothy Lane, one half of Truth and Consequences, entering the match. Dumpley looked like he was about to size Damian Maximus up, and Dorothy Lane now intercepting him. Charles Dumpley with elbow strikes onto Damian Maximus. And here's Dorothy Lane with a Russian leg sweeper onto Charles Dumpley. Lane now thrown in the corner. She counters the right hand from Damian Maximus, and here comes a clothesline from Dorothy Lane. There's a lot on the line in this match here in the Grand Rumble. This is a huge opportunity for any wrestler who enters the ring here. Remember, the winner will be facing Dio Sebation for the Grand Tour title at the main event of our biggest pay-per-view event, WrestleNova. Whoever wins this match, no matter their status here at GTW, will be elevated to the main event roster. Damian Maximus with those hard elbows onto Dorothy Lane. Here goes Dumpley with a suplex onto Damian Maximus. Dorothy Lane being thrown against the ropes. Here comes Dumpley. Still on the attack. Dorothy Lane throwing those elbows, doing everything she can to fight back against her opponent. And there's Maximus with the right hand. Dorothy Lane running in straight. And now she gets thrown on top rope and has been eliminated. And we're about to get our next competitor, just right after Dorothy Wayne's elimination. And here comes Sir William Regal. William Regal, on the verge of retirement, has failed to procure the European title when he had the chance. However, now William Regal, oh, never mind. I was going to say William Regal might have the chance to become number one contender for the Grand Tour title before retiring, but after suffering the divine judgment by Damian Maximus, he was very close to being eliminated under a minute of entering the ring. Luckily, Charles Dudley was able to intercept and attack Damian Maximus, allowing William Regal to get back in the ring. And there's William Regal with that brutal, brawling style he learned from the UK. And there's Charles Dudley, grabbing William Regal by the head, throwing him across the ring. Maximus attacking him from behind. And here's a punt from Damian Maximus onto Charles Dudley. Dudley with those elbow strikes to the ribs of Damian Maximus. There's a huge elbow strike by William Regal. He throws Dudley against the ropes, and Charles Dudley has been eliminated. It's now between Damian Maximus and William Regal. William Regal now over the top rope, and William Regal has been eliminated. And thus far, Damian Maximus is dominating in this Grand Rumble match. And here comes the equalizer. Damian Maximus might be meeting his match as Jeff Hardy enters the ring. As Jeff Hardy with those elbows onto Maximus. If anyone's going to be able to eliminate this young man, it's going to be this veteran wrestler right here. Jeff Hardy, one half of the Hardy Boys. One half of what might be described as one of the greatest tag teams of all time. And now Jeff Hardy sizing him up. It looks like Jeff Hardy is dominating over Damian Maximus here as he throws him towards the ropes. And a reversal by Damian Maximus. Jeff Hardy immediately getting back in the ring. And there's a swinging neckbreaker by Damian Maximus. And an attempt, a sidewalk slam. Jeff Hardy reverses. Here comes the grapple. Jeff Hardy was about to bring him to the ropes. Damian Maximus onto his game as he delivers a big boot onto Jeff Hardy. And there's a divine judgment. Damian Maximus just hit the divine judgment on Jeff Hardy. There he is, throwing him through the ropes. And here comes a massive signature DDT by Damian Maximus. And just look at the confidence of this young man as he is decimating Jeff Hardy. That divine judgment might have been all he needed. Jeff Hardy came back in the ring just in time to avoid elimination. And we're about to get our next entry here. And here comes Akima Sake. Akima Sake, the next contestant in the Grand Rumble. Here goes Jeff Hardy with a swinging DDT on Akima Sake. Now putting his focus back on Damian Maximus. And a double jumping kick to the groin to his opponent. Akima Sake now facing off against Jeff Hardy, attempting to get him over the top rope here. Looks like Akima Sake looking for that elimination. Jeff Hardy struggling all he can, and look at Damian Maximus just watching, biding his time. And now here he is, going after Akima Sake. Here comes Jeff Hardy, the interception. Damian Maximus with those elbow strikes. And a jaw buster by Akima Sake. Jeff Hardy getting Akima Sake from behind. Goes to the Irish Whip. Here's the reversal. And Jeff Hardy goes under. He goes over. And Akima Sake catches the kick just in time. Jeff Hardy rolling out of the way, coming in with a clothesline on Akima Sake. And there's a gut buster. And it looks like Jeff Hardy, being the evil opportunist, now receives a second divine judgment from Damian Maximus. Jeff Hardy just been eliminated. Damian Maximus remaining strong in his Grand Rumble match as he's now one-on-one with Akima Sake, delivering a power slam. And here comes the Rhino. An ECW legend. Rhino coming in to the Grand Rumble. There's Akima Sake with a drop kick to the back of Damian Maximus. The Rhino now with an Irish whip throwing Akima Sake into the corner and looking to eliminate this young woman. Akima Sake trying to fight back as much as he can, but Rhino might prove to be too powerful for her. And with an elbow strike, Akima Sake able to escape elimination. And now Akima Sake over the top rope and saves himself just in time. Quick thinking by Akima Sake with that kick, followed by a neckbreaker onto Damian Maximus. And now the Rhino coming in with a power bomb. Oh, what's he doing? It looks like he's bringing him towards the ropes here. No, he's bringing it to the middle of the ring. A powerbomb snake eyes into the top turnbuckle. And now there's Akima Sake with a leg DDT. Damian Maximus going after Akima Sake, who's over the top rope, and Akima Sake has just been eliminated. And Damian Maximus has just been eliminated. The Rhino just eliminated Damian Maximus. And look at Rhino, the lone wrestler in the ring, celebrating his temporary victory. But that might be temporary as Castor Black now enters the ring. And look at this, we're going to have these two powerhouses. Rhino going up against Castor Black here in the Grand Rumble. It seems Damian Maximus' dream of being Grand Tour Champion has just been squashed in the hands of Rhino. But vice versa, it seems Rhino is about to get his ambition crushed. This ECW legend about to be eliminated by one half of the Intergender Tag Team Champions, Castor Black. That's right, mortals. That's Rhino in the ring. Former ECW WWE wrestler. Currently on the NWA roster and now in GTW here in the Grand Rumble, going against Castor Black. And there's Rhino with a double X handle on the Castor Black here. Castor Black, king of the Wolfpack, one half of the Intergender Tag Team Champions, going one-on-one against Rhino here. Rhino being thrown into the corner as Castor Black once again goes for that elimination, trying to get Rhino over the top rope. Will he be able to do it? Will he be able to eliminate the Rhino to be the lone wrestler, gain the Grand Rumble advantage? And no, Rhino able to fight back. Castor Black with a huge gut shot. Still bringing the pressure onto Rhino as he gives him a scoop body slam. And there's a lariat takedown by Castle Black. You can see Castle Black is completely fired up, as is the crowd here in Greece. And here comes Kumiko Tanaka, one half of the Syndicate, one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, now in the ring. And here comes Kumiko Tanaka attempting to eliminate Rhino. Rhino might be too strong for her though. And he is. Kumiko Tanaka unable to overpower Rhino and get him over that top rope. And now Castle Black throwing Kumiko Tanaka over the top rope. Rhino grabbing Castle Black from behind, saving Kumiko Tanaka from elimination. And a very powerful, unorthodox Russian leg sweep by Kumiko Tanaka. As she comes in, attempting to go for the legs. Castle Black wants to dodge, but fell victim to the gore. Castle Black completely knocked out as he lays in the corner of the ring after being hit by the gore from the Rhino. Now recuperating, he gives Rhino receiver a super kick to the back of the head. He throws Kumiko Tanaka into the corner. And here comes a lariat takedown by Kumiko Tanaka. Rhino going for a clothesline. Amazing counter by Tanaka as she goes for the legs of the Rhino. And you got handed to one half of the women's champions, Kumiko Tanaka, holding her own against these two massive, powerful men, Castle Black and Rhino. A testament to her own skills in the ring. We're 10 seconds away to find out our next contestant who will be entering the Grand Rumble. And here comes Nathaniel Gray. Now things are getting interesting as the former Hardcore Champion now has entered the ring. We have the Hardcore Champion, one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, and Castle Black has just been eliminated. Now we got the Hardcore Champion, former Hardcore Champion against this ECW legend Rhino as they tangle in the middle of the ring. Castle Black just been eliminated, and Kumiko Tanaka trying to stay out of harm's way as she's in the, under the rope at the ring apron. And there's Daniel Gray over the top rope, sliding under the bottom rope, saving himself from elimination. And there's a spine buster by Rhino onto Nathaniel Gray. Kumiko Tanaka with a Superman punch off of Rhino, using the ropes for full momentum. And now there she is, sizing the Rhino up. And then Rhino with those massive elbows onto Kumiko Tanaka. Nathaniel Gray throwing Rhino into the corner. And it looks like Kumiko Tanaka looking to eliminate Nathaniel Gray. Nathaniel Gray holding onto the bottom rope, fighting for dear life. And Rhino attempting the door. Kumiko Tanaka moves out of the way though, avoiding the attack. And then a double team by Nathaniel Gray and Kumiko Tanaka taking down the Rhino. Alliances are very short here in the Grand Rumble as Kumiko Tanaka and Nathaniel Gray now go up against each other. And here comes our next contestant. Here comes Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher, our next contestant here in the Grand Rumble. And a huge elbow by Kyle Fletcher. Nathaniel Gray with the receipt. And immediately, Kyle Fletcher eliminated under a minute. quite the disappointing disappointing performance by Kyle Fletcher. And now, after receiving a double suplex in the hands of Nathaniel Gray and Rhino, Nathaniel Gray now eliminates Rhino. It's now between Nathaniel Gray and Kumiko Tanaka. Tanaka now with an Irish whip. Nathaniel Gray over the top rope. And here's Tanaka attempting to eliminate Nathaniel Gray, the former hardcore champion. You can see Nathaniel Gray just too strong for her, too powerful for her to overpower him like that. There's a kick to the midsection. Nathaniel Gray going for a powerbomb. Kumiko Tanaka with those right hands to counter. There's a clothesline. Counter by Nathaniel Gray. A kick to the midsection. Kumiko Tanaka now trapped in the corner. And she comes in with a knee buster on Nathaniel Gray. We're about to get our next competitor. Who will it be? Who will be our next competitor? Kumiko Tanaka about to be eliminated here, and she gets eliminated just in time for our next entry. And here comes Dunpoint now in the ring. Gray throwing Dunpoint against the ropes. Nathaniel Gray over the top rope, and he has just been eliminated. Dunpoint dominating this match the moment he's entered, and here comes Rebecca Troy as our next competitor. And it looks like Dunpoint getting a little too confident as Rebecca Troy now in the ring. The size difference may not matter here. Rebecca Troy is known to be extremely dangerous. A highly valued member of the Old Gods, a rival of the Witch. And you see these two competitors going back and forth. And you see Rebecca Troy trying to play very smart against Dunpoint here. And Dunpoint over the top rope. And she's attempting to eliminate Dunpoint. Dunpoint just might be too powerful for Rebecca Troy to overpower here. You can see that she's struggling as he just completely overpowers Rebecca Troy. And here's a scoop body slam onto Rebecca Troy here. And there's a European uppercut. And just looking at him using that size and power to his advantage against the Olympian Empress. And Rebecca Troy with a quick reversal, throwing Dunpoint over the top rope. Dunpoint immediately getting back in the ring, not giving Rebecca Troy a chance to eliminate him. And here he comes with a spine buster. He now throws her over the top rope, and Rebecca Troy eliminated. A very short run by the Olympian Empress, Rebecca Troy. And here comes Jeff Cobb, looking to be the next one to challenge Dunpoint here in the Grand Rumble. He throws Dunpoint against the ropes. He goes under. He goes over. And here comes a bear hug. Attempting a belly-to-belly suplex, and there's Dunpoint raking the eyes of Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb with the leg scissors. With a power slam onto his opponent. If he's smart, he'll do everything he can to try and eliminate Dunpoint before the next competitor comes in. Try and gain the lone man advantage here in the Grand Rumble. And there's a sidewalk slam by Dunpoint. Jeff Cobb in a lot of trouble. Dunpoint thus far dominating in this match. Here comes the Irish Whip, and Jeff Cobb eliminated. Dunpoint thus far dominating in the Grand Rumble. And here comes Benjamin Bourne. Benjamin Bourne, the next competitor here in the Grand Rumble. Bad boy Benjamin Bourne. If anyone has a chance of taking care of Dunpoint, it's this man right here. He reverses Irish Whip. Dunpoint over top rope, and he done it. Benjamin Bourne has eliminated Dunpoint. And now, bad boy Benjamin Bourne at the top of the mountain, the lone man in the Grand Rumble. Oh, look at this. It's Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho making his GTW debut. An incredible turn of events. The next entry ends up being Chris freaking Jericho. I didn't even know he was on the roster. We're having Jericho making his debut right here in GTW in the Grand Rumble. And his first opponent will be Benjamin Bourne. We have Benjamin Bourne sizing up Chris Jericho. He goes for the knee to the chin, followed by a clothesline. I think Benjamin Bourne knows exactly who he's up against. Chris Jericho, a 30-year vet in in-ring action. Jericho has served in nearly every wrestling promotion. Now in his debut in JTW. And here's Jericho with a reversal on bad boy Benjamin Bourne. He throws Bourne against the ropes. And an amazing takedown by Chris Jericho. Jericho coming in with the Lion Salt. Bourne out of the way. Now I will say Jericho does have the in-ring experience. However, Bourne is still in his prime. Jericho may be far from it. The event may still go to Bourne here. Now sizing up Chris Jericho. And wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that elevate Benjamin Bourne if he can eliminate Chris Jericho in his debut run? Jericho coming off the ropes and a hip toss by Benjamin Bourne. And we're about to see who our next competitor is. It's the Witch. The Witch is now in the Grand Rumble. It's between the Witch and Benjamin Bourne. The Witch now making good on her promise. She said she would enter the Grand Rumble. She has declared that she will win the Grand Rumble to take on her brother at the main event of WrestleNova. And here she is, going one-on-one with Benjamin Bourne. And it's the Witch with a facebuster, followed by a Lion Salt. Benjamin Bourne dodging the attack. The Witch with a hard strike to the ribs. You see the Witch fighting as hard as she can. You can see the fire behind her eyes. How badly she wants to win this match. And a drop kick to the back of Benjamin Bourne. There's an overhand chop. Kick to the midsection. Bourne dodging the Witch. And the Witch completely relentless. Benjamin Bourne scrambling to fight back. And he gets the big boot, knocking the Witch down. Unless my math is wrong, I believe that was the 30th entry here in the Grand Rumble. So, again, unless my math is wrong, I did lose count. It could be between Bourne and the Witch. And Bourne has eliminated the Witch. A quick turn of events. Benjamin Bourne has eliminated the Witch. Benjamin Bourne wins the Grand Rumble. Amazing victory by Benjamin Bourne. Benjamin, who has been chasing the mid-card title for so long and has failed at every attempt, now will have his chance at the Grand Tour Championship at the main event of WrestleNova, eliminating the Witch in the final round of the Grand Rumble. What an amazing turn of events. We have it here, folks. It's now official. The main event of WrestleNova for the Grand Tour Championship. It will be Dio Sebation versus Bad Boy Benjamin Bourne. Everyone who's watching on Twitch, don't forget to follow to see all these live events, plus other content such as gameplay footage from games such as The Witcher or Marvel Rivals. And for those of you who watch my GTW content on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Put on that notification bell to know when new episodes of GTW come near you. And tune in this Wednesday for GTW Brawl to see the aftermath of tonight's pay-per-view event. This is Infinite Fantasy signing out, and as always, may your fantasies be infinite.